Obviously the exhaust isn't the best thing in the world, but it's a 2-liter. I like on the Stelvio how they reduced the actual price because you don't get the black exhaust tips. But that is the big kicker for 2021. What's good, guys? Welcome back to Ron's Rides. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video. I'm here at Ferrari Maserati Alfa Romeo of Central Florida, and I finally have our first 2021 Alfa Romeo Stelvio Sprint. That is the base model or entry-level model, but Alfa's not calling it that this year. They're calling it the Sprint, and they had the Sprint models already in Europe last year, but they brought it over here to the States for 2021. Now, this isn't your everyday average Stelvio Sprint, all right? This SUV is actually packed with a couple more options. So we're gonna go over those options and see what this Alfa Romeo Stelvio brings to the table for 2021. So let's dive right into it. Now, just to give you a quick rundown on this exterior spec, Monte Carlo blue, upgraded $600 paint, but this metallic flake just looks incredible in the Florida sun, and it's definitely showing its true colors here today. It's been a while since we've had a Monte Carlo blue Alfa on the channel, but today we're gonna bring it back for 2021. Man, this looks incredible. Now, we'll go over the full spec in just a minute, but I had to take a moment to appreciate this paint. Let's talk about what's new for 2021. Now, if you guys haven't checked out my reviews on 2 Alfa Romeo Giulia Sprints, make sure you check those out because they offer the same packages for the Stelvio Sprint, but there's gonna be one big difference, is the wheel option as far as the standard wheel. The standard wheel for the Alfa Romeo Stelvio Sprint will be an 18-inch dark 5-spoke wheel. Obviously, we do not have that wheel today, so that means that we have an upgraded option, which we'll get into. Well, for 2021, Alfa Romeo has added 3 new content packages. What the Sprint is and what the 2021 models are about is getting more for less and saving you money. So that's the biggest thing you'll notice with these models coming up for the new model year. So what do you get? Well, for the first one, you'll have an active assist package, and that's an active assist 1 package. That would include active blind spot and level 1 ADAS features, and instead of paying $2,000, you're only paying $595 for this package. That saves you $1,405 in 2021. All right, so with that said, the next package is going to be the Sun and Sound package. That's going to give you the dual pane sunroof and the 10-speaker audio system. What it is now for 2021 is $1,595, so you're saving $305 on that package. And then you have the performance package. That gives you paddle shifters and limited slip diff. But what it costs is $995. Now up front, you do have your bi-xenon headlamps. You have your full LEDs for the running lights, all right? And then your headlamps there that are not currently on, but we'll see them in just a moment. You also have your signature Scudetto grille right up front with the Alfa Romeo insignia at the top. And you have the black package, which is the Nero Edizione package, all right? So you do have that dark meat-on finish for the Scudetto grille up front. You do have the darker headlamps as well, which is going to be a little bit harder to see. Kind of got to go around the corner there to see. All right, you do also have for that black package the dark meat-on mirror caps there. You also have the dark moldings around the windows, and you have the dark roof rails as well. All right, so you have that all together on the side, but can't forget about the 20-inch sport wheels and the monochrome center cap that comes with this black package. So the Nero Edizione package gives you all of that as well. You do also have the silver calipers with the black Alfa Romeo script there, all right? So looks really good here. Again, this is an entry-level model, so there's gonna be a couple things that we're missing. Now, we go around to the rear, we'll see where some of the changes occur on the black package, and this is a big disappointment, unfortunately. We do have the badge, the Stelvio badge done in black, but we are missing those exhaust tips. Those exhaust tips are normally done in black. For 2020, they were done in black on the black package, no matter whether you got the base model, the TI Sport. I mean, the Lusso, obviously you didn't get it. But with that said, for 2021, do not get the black exhaust tips on the Sprint model. You can get it on the TI Sports, but on the Sprint, you're getting the chrome, all right? You do, for the Stelvio, have the gloss black or dark meat-on rear diffuser. So you do have that down the middle. But as opposed to not having the black, it's a tough sell because a lot of people like those darkening exhaust tips. It really kept the whole black package kind of unison and just was really, I don't know, symmetric, and it just looked really good. But that is the big kicker for 2021. when it comes to the black package. Let's talk about performance and convenience. First, that inline 4-cylinder 2-liter is the same one that you're used to for the Alfa Romeo Stelvio. All right, 280 horsepower, 306 foot-pounds of torque. All right, and that will get you up from 0 to 60 in just over 5 seconds, and your top speed of 149. Now, with that said, this is one of those engines that carries over throughout the sport models as well. So you can get the Sprint, you can get the TI Sport, you can get the Lusso luxury model and still have the same exact engine. That's how much Alfa Romeo believes in their engine, and it really is that good. I will swing over to the back for your fuel economy. Premium fuel recommended for this car. And what you're looking at is a combined miles per gallon of 25 miles per gallon, 22 city, 29 for the highway. Now, she's not the smallest of small. She's about 4,000 pounds when it comes to the curb weight, and it has a max towing of 3,000 pounds. So you can haul a nice little bit with this Alfa Romeo Stelvio. Now, in the back, 56 cubic feet of space, plenty of room. This is one of the most functional Alfa Romeos you'll ever find with all this trunk space. You have your privacy shade here that you can easily pull back. It's just, I can do all of this with one hand. All 3 seats do fold down. If I want to press the levers here for left or right, I can also pull this tab here for just the center. All right, let that down as well. I just click that back in. All right, then underneath, you do see the floor mats, but going underneath, we have beautiful setup here. I mean, very compact, very tight, very, I guess functional. So what you do have is your tools right here if you need any, your tow hook and your screwdriver. You also have your battery stacked in the back, 50-50 weight distribution here. All right, you have your tire pressure kit there. All right, so you can inflate it. You also have extra stowage cubbies, just to kind of put a few things. This is going to be your front plate bracket, just in case you need to put a front plate on. But I just really love how this is packaged, how well Alfa Romeo does it. Little cubbies on each side as well. I mean, they really did a good job with this. And now we'll go over that in just a second, because I actually want to do a quick video on how to program your trunk for your Alfa Romeo Stelvio for 2021. So program the height, the ways you can open it, the ways you can close it. So we'll do that video next, so you guys can see that specifically. For anybody who does buy these cars, they'll be looking for that specifically. So I want to show them that specifically without going into too much detail here and boring you guys. Now, before we go inside, you guys have seen this key fob before. I actually just did a video on how to change the battery, replace the battery inside of this key fob, where you grab on both of the grips here. I explained the type of battery you have in it and how to put it on and off. So check that out if you haven't seen it. But the same key fob you're used to for Alfa Romeo. You do have your unlock, your lock, your trunk release as I just showed you, and also your remote start with your panic button there, and the physical key inside as I showed you in that video. But yeah, everything that you're used to for the 2021 model. Nothing has changed as far as the key fob goes. All right, so let's step inside of this 2021 Alfa Romeo Stelvio Sprint, where you'll see a very standard interior. Now, this is the Sprint. Again, the Sprint is Alfa Romeo's entry-level model. So you're getting everything that is pretty simple, pretty clean. Now, we already know that you can add things like different packages, like the sound package and the sun package and, performance package, all that stuff. All right. But you can tell that this Alfa Romeo Stelvio doesn't necessarily have that. All right. So we're keeping it pretty chill. We'll talk about that in just a minute. Let's close this up and take a look at this beautiful cabin that you guys are used to. Nero, all right? So black on black. So essentially it's the same Alfa Romeo from 2020. Only thing is if I were to add the sun and sound package, well, then I get the big sunroof and I get the upgraded Harman Kardon sound system. If I added the performance package, I get limited slip diff and I get paddle shifters. Stuff like that is what changes the game, as we spoke about earlier. But for now, this is what you're used to. So we'll actually step on the brake, start her up. And here we are, big 8.8-inch screen, all right, and that is the touch screen. That turned into a touch screen last year for 2020, and it has a great graphical user interface right here on the screen. You'll see in just a second. Now, it does need a little bit of tweaking because it's a little laggy. So for the first year, things weren't as smooth as, Alfa wanted them to be with the touchscreen. But when you first start off with something like this, it's going to be hard to adjust to right away. So you can tell that it's getting a little bit better, but you can tell there's lag when I'm dragging my hands. It's not smooth, this transition at all. But once you use the actual toggle switch down here, all right, that goes through the system, this flies, all right? It does what it needs to do. It's really easy to use. And it's one of the things that where, you can use while driving as well. So it doesn't make it super hard for you to toggle around with this hand and drive with the next. The touchscreen, I think, would probably be a little bit more distracting because it's not doing exactly what you want it to do sometimes. So when that happens, you're more finicky with this and you're not paying attention to the road. So I would recommend the toggle screen right now. Alfa Romeo did add that you can get over-the-air updates and you don't have to come to the dealership. That's for 2021 models. We'll see that on the sticker. But yeah, it's a pretty good system. Everything's the same that you guys are used to for this model year that you saw last year. This system is very nice. I love the way it looks. And it does everything you need it to do. I mean, you got your settings there. All right, you have your connected services, your vehicle information, your performance page. All right, your climate. You also have your driver assist. All right, and you have your date with your phone there to hook that up via Bluetooth, navigation, and your radio. You can also make these smaller, the widget smaller there. All right, so you can see a little bit more at once, which is really nice, just very functional. So you do have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto plug and play standard with all of these cars. So it's really nice to be able to use those systems if you don't like this one as well. But other than that, same HVAC vents, dual climate control. All right, so you do have each side where they can be individual or you can sync them. You do have a USB 2.0 there. You also have a 12 volt. And if I move my glasses here, you do have your cup holders with the nice sliding door to go over top. And that's something that the 2021 or 2020 Giulia does not have. So a lot of people do like this on the Stelvio, the stealthy cup holder like hider. You have your 8-speed ZF transmission with your 2-track system for your gear shift here, covered in leather. 2-track system. Well, go to drive, go to manual there just by moving it over. All right, you have neutral here and reverse. All right, and then park right up top. All right, so you have those, what you're used to for 2020. Just use the trigger and pull back, and you can go wherever you want with this thing. Now you also have your electronic parking brake. You have your key holder there to put your key fob. You have your radio control here where you can move left and right to change the stations. Up and down or twist left and right to turn up and down the radio. Press it down once to pause. Hold it down to turn off the radio. That toggle switch, as I showed you earlier, that goes to your 8.8-inch infotainment screen. The home button for that, quick home button and quick settings button. And then your driving modes here, all right? The Alpha DNA system. Well, dynamic, we'll turn that over and you'll see it light up in red. That is your most throttle response, your most hardcore mode. That's the one you're really gonna get up and get out in. Natural mode, all right? Natural is everyday driving. It's very natural, bumper to bumper traffic, stop and go, all right? And then advanced efficiency. That is actually your best fuel economy mode. All right, that's why it turns green, right? All right, so that's good to use when you're on cruise control or when you're on the highway, just cruising. It's a good way to kind of just keep things very kosher. All right, now inside of here, you'll have where your wireless charger is. All right, so you'll see that slot there, and that's an additional option. Then inside, you will have your USB controls. All right, so you have the 2.0, you have your aux cable, and you have your USB-C. And then you have the indicator there. That will be for your RF transmitter in case your key fob battery dies. And you have your glove box here. Plenty of space, pretty standard. All right. Then over on the sides here, your door paneling. Very simple structures as far as plastic and wood. All right. And then you have your seat controls. You do have 3 seats. All right. So you can have your mom, dad, and you can have, the daughter or son driving as well. Maybe the uncle or the aunt, whoever. You do have 3 seat controls for the preset. All right. So then you have your trunk release there where you can open and close the trunk. And this is actually where you set the ride height or open height of the trunk this year. All right. For 2020, it was different. For 2021, you use this. But we'll talk about that in a different video. Now, you also have your toggle switch for your mirrors to adjust your mirrors. You can also pull back to actually close those mirrors. And there you are. All right. So you also have here your window switches and your door locks are actually right up there. All right. So when it's locked, actually I gotta close it. When it's locked, you get that nice red indicator, which looks good there too as well. It just goes very well with this whole setup. Aluminum door handle, aluminum trim around the speaker. Everything just looks nice and, I guess really well quality. Even though this isn't the upgraded spec, it still looks good for an entry-level model. Underneath, you'll see the rubber pedals there, the Alfa Romeo script on those, and you'll also see your trunk release right there for your hood. You also have a little hidden pouch here. If you need to hide all those, important documents that you'll need once you get caught speeding in these things, that's a good spot for it, I always say. All right, this is gonna be for your TFT screen and your speedo there. You have your parking sensor button here, and you have your automatic start-stop button. All right, and then going over those turbine vents, we'll talk about the steering wheel. Steering wheel, same as you're used to, perforated leather. All right, I mean leather all the way around, but perforated leather on the sides. The nice big Alfa Romeo insignia in the middle. All right, we do have a driver assistance package on this. You can probably tell because you can see the buttons there, and you can see it right up top there. So you know we have the Active Assist 1 package on there, but we'll talk about that when we see the sticker. Also, you have the hill descent control as well, and then you have your voice commands and radio buttons over here. All right, and then right there in the center, you have your Alfa Romeo TFT screen, 7-inch, with your speedo there. You can go through a couple of different menus here, not a crazy ton. You know, this is your driver assistance one. All right, this is your speedo right up top. All right, and your trip there. And you can also set your G-force meter and everything like that as well. You do have 3 different seats for the Alfa Romeo 2.0 models. You have the standard seat, which you see here. Very comfortable, very to the point, very standard. You also have your Lusso seat, which is your luxury seat, which is cannoli leather. Super soft, most comfortable seat that you'll get in the Alfa Romeo lineup. And then there is the sport seat, which you'll get with these sport models, and that is actually a bolstered, very form-fitting seat. Looks really good, but you need to be able to fit in that thing very well for it to be comfortable for, I mean, I would say a road trip of 3 hours or more. I have driven at least 3 hours in the sports seat, and I started to get to the point where it started to get a little uncomfortable. So I did test it out. I would say the cannoli leather Lusso seats are the best. These are second best in the Alfa Romeo lineup. Now up top, you do have your home link for your garage there. All right, and then you do have your controls for your dome light. All right, your reading light, your door light, SOS. In the back, that's really where you want the room, right? That's why you got the SUV over the sedan Giulia. Well, you get the same setup on the door paneling as you do up front. Same plastic, same wood, same aluminum. Then you get inside. Plenty of space on the standard seating. As you can see, I'm gonna hop in, and I am 5'11". So once I hop in, you'll see that I have tons of space here. I'm not sure how well you guys can see that, but yeah, I don't need the driver to move at all. And if they wanted to move back, I have space there. The curvature in the back seat rest will help me out. Also have a little net for storage here. I have the turbine vents in the back as well. And I have 2 USB 2.0s right there with a little bit of storage space to charge my phone and set it there while it's charging. Now I do have, with the standard seating back here, a fold out cup holder there, all right, for the middle of the armrest. And then if you ever want to do the center feed through, what you would do is just pull this tab here and then pull that down, and you'll see right into the trunk space. But yeah, it's a good place to be. It's pretty comfortable, pretty chill, but not much is going on back here really to cater to the back seat. Really what we should do is just take this for a quick spin, all right, see how it drives, and we should hear that exhaust a little bit. It's a 2-liter, never really sounded good, but for 2021, why not just see what it sounds like for the next model year. So taking this for a quick spin, it's probably going to drive exactly the same for 2021 as it's driven for 2020. It's just Alfa Romeo for 2020 switched over to electric steering. All right, because they wanted to add all the level 2 autonomous driving, so they switched over to electric steering. So it's a little different as far as the steering, and I talked about that when I drove the 2020 models. It's not exactly the same. I'm not saying that the steering response isn't sharp. It is very sharp, and we're about to find out in just a second once we make this U-turn. But it wasn't exactly the same. And I said that I noticed it because I've driven, I mean, seriously, probably 100 Alfa Romeos. I've driven so many, doing reviews and working at the dealerships. So I know what it's like, and I mean, yeah, that's great. The turn radius is great. You know, the steering response is still pretty good. But I mean, if you've driven a lot of Alfa Romeos and you know, have some sort of change in it, you're gonna notice. Never really driven the Alfas, you might not notice, but that is the only gripe that I had is, you know, obviously moving with electric steering, the steering is gonna be a little bit different, gonna be a little looser, and that's fine. Actually, this works just fine. It might have been too responsive with the earlier model years, but now it might be just right. It just depends on what kind of driving you do, but this thing really handles. But I have to turn the wheel a little bit more these days to really get it to do what I want it to do. So that's the part that's the gripe for me. But other than that, I mean, this thing is light on its feet. I mean, it really the perception of speed is just so crazy because you could be flying and it's so smooth. You'd never be able to know. Using my backup camera here to make sure I don't hit anything, and then I get going. It's so easy to operate. 2-track system. The ZF is a great transmission. I mean, it's great. Right now we'll just kind of punch it in the manual mode. We'll put it in dynamic so we'll get the most out of it, and we'll go. That's fun. It's easy to shift using the gear shifter instead of using paddles. You don't always have to use paddles. So if you don't want that performance package and pay for it to get the paddles and the limited slip depth, you don't need it. You can always just use the gear shifter here and just have your fun. It's got a little bit of kick to it, and it's really fun to use once you really need it. So again, I'm just going to use this here, dynamic mode. All right. We're gonna go down. We're in first gear. I mean, you see it. It's that easy. Crank it up a little bit and fly. It's just a smooth SUV to drive. It gives you a lot of fun and excitement, and it really is practical. It's very responsive, and it just has everything you need as far as the comfortability. You know, it feels like you're floating. The perception of speed definitely feels like you're floating. The seats are comfortable. I mean, really can't ask for more as far as drivability with this Alfa Romeo. It really does its thing. Now, obviously the exhaust isn't the best thing in the world, but it's a 2-liter. They do have a package that I just recently found out for 2020 once I reviewed the Carbon Sport, that it's actually an enhancer for the exhaust. Yeah, they might have that for 2021. We'll see once we get a TI Sport, or once we get a Sport Carbon for 2021. Again, I'm gonna have to just go up and down this slow loop for you guys just because I'm enjoying driving it. So let's kick it. Let's see if I can really just punch it. And I can't tell you guys how fast I'm going, but it kicks up the speed pretty quick, and you see it doesn't jerk me back. It's not like aggressive. If anything, I'm jolting myself back because, you know, I'm getting immersed in the experience. But other than that, it really just is. It's smooth. It's flawless. It's the transitions. I mean, it just, the way it shifts gears, it just makes it so easy to drive. Again, we're gonna do this again. All right, first gear, step on it and go. See, I'm keeping my composure here. I mean, obviously I wasn't jolting myself back, and I'm going at a nice speed, and you can see that I wasn't, you know, jerking back and forth. I wasn't shaking in my seat. I can have that kind of fun and still be planted in my seat comfortably, like I was, you know, sipping champagne and just enjoying my day. It was nothing to go that fast, and using it in manual mode and dynamic mode, your most aggressive mode, and still look like I'm just floating on air. That's what I love about this thing. It's super smooth. I can't say that enough. Super smooth, super chill. So it is what it is. All right, so let's talk about the price. Let's talk about this sticker here. The 2021 model year Alfa Romeo Stelvio Sprint wheel drive. Your base price, you're looking at $41,450. Now, after the abundance of optional equipment today, we're looking at a total price of $46,440. That's after a $1,295 destination charge. So what do we get with that? Well, our optional equipment, let's start there. The Monte Carlo exterior color paint. That's a metallic paint for $600. And your Sprint wheel drive package. Well, that gives you your Nero Edizione pack, which is your black pack. at $1,500. And that's nice because it's actually cheaper than the previous model year, which is at $1,600. And for the Giulia, this model year is $1,700. So it's actually $200 more on the Giulia. And I like on the Stelvio how they reduced the actual price because you don't get the black exhaust tips versus the Giulia where you still pay more and you still don't get the exhaust tips. So for this one, you see the exterior mirror caps, Scudetto grille, the black badging, the black window moldings, and the gloss black roof rails with the monochrome center caps. All right, so $1,500 as opposed to $1,600 in 2020 and as opposed to $1,700 for the Giulia in 2021. You also have the active assist package we talked about. That is your driver assistance 1 package, $595. All right, so you get the perforated leather shift knob, the infrared windshield, the automatic dimming exterior mirrors, lane departure warning, automatic high beam headlamp control, adaptive cruise control with stop, front and rear parking sensors, and active blind spot assist. And then you have your global telematics box module. That is where you get the over-the-air updates, all right, and you get those without going to the dealership. So it actually helps you out there, all right. Then wireless charging, $250 for this specific model. Not a bad price because that is cheaper than the previous model year. And then you have your 20-inch dark meat-on black sport wheels, $750. All right, so with all of that, you're looking at a total price of $46,440. If we look at the standard equipment here, you'll see everything that the Alfa Romeo Stelvio Sprint comes with for 2021. A lot of what you're used to, all right, so things like your power liftgate, your Alfa Romeo DNA system, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto standard, all your speakers, all right. I mean, it's just everything that you're used to, but just standard features that you'll get on these specific cars. So I just want to make sure you see exactly what you're going to get if you were to hop in these things, and then what you could add if it's missing from this list of options. So with that said, what are you guys thinking about the pricing and the options of this 2021 Alfa Romeo Stelvio Sprint? So before we wrap it all up, let's check out the bi-xenon headlamps with the LEDs and the turn signals there. All right, looks good as always. I'm waiting on Alfa Romeo to go full LED, but it will come soon enough once they do the full refresh. You do see the turn indicators in the mirrors there as well. And then in the rear, you'll see the full LED tail lamps. All right, so same that you're used to, but still looks good. And I wanted to show them off for the 2021 models. See what you guys were to think about these. But with that said, let's talk about this. Is it worth it for you guys to get the 2021 model, or would you rather go for the 2020 model, save a little money, and the options aren't really that different? If anything, things get a little bit better because with the black pack on the base models for 2020, you get the black exhaust tips. So what are you guys thinking, 2021 versus 2020? Which one would you take? All right, guys, so hopefully you enjoyed the video today, and hopefully you enjoyed me checking out the 2021 Alfa Romeo Stelvio Sprint rear-wheel drive. Now, with that said, if you guys did enjoy the video today, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. If you get a thumbs up, we'll help get it up in the rankings. More people can see it, and we can have a bigger discussion on this new 2021 Alfa Romeo Stelvio Sprint rear-wheel drive. Now, if you guys want to also help support the channel, always check the links down below. I have a one-time link donation for my PayPal, my Cash App, and my Venmo. Just in case you guys want to donate $1 or $2 to the channel, you can always do that. You can always check out my Patreon as well, be a monthly subscriber there, or check out that Ron's Rides merch as well. You know, half off all month of November for Black November. Use coupon code BLKNOV to get 50% off. Now check me out on Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, see all the Ferrari, Maserati, and Alfa Romeo content I'm posting. It doesn't always make it here to the channel. And make sure you guys subscribe. We're almost at 20,000 subscribers. So with that said, after you subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss one Ron's Rides video. And with that said, you guys be blessed, have a great day, and we'll talk to you guys in the next Ron's Rides video. Peace.